Thokozani bogogo nomkhulu, ngiyanibingelela nonke emakhosini. Yeah, it's been a while since I last posted a video. So I don't really have my ring light with me, so I'm just literally holding my phone by my hands. But I felt the need to do this video because I wish this was a video I had when I was still doing like my research and learning, and as a healer, you're constantly learning up until till the day you die. And this is the video I'm strongly passionate about, and I feel like it's something that everyone needs to watch and learn about, regardless of whether you're gifted or not, whether you believe in African spirituality or not, and you simply just want to learn. I think out of all of the videos I've posted so far, I believe this is a video that everyone needs to start off with, because this is more of like one of the core elements of African spirituality, and everyone needs to get an idea, before branching off and learning other things. So what I want to talk about today is the concept of Umsamo. What is Umsamo? And basically, the reason why I wanted to talk about it, I have wanted to talk about it, but I just wasn't sure of how to unpack it, because there's like sayings and phrasings that only, for example, someone who's a Zulu indigenous speaker will be able to understand. And so translating and trying to unpack it in English is tricky. So I just wanted to use it in such a way that anyone can understand, especially since a lot more people now who are spiritually inclined, are millennials, Gen Zs, So it's quite complicated, because even a lot of the things that are done in African customs, even some adults don't understand themselves. And so we need to develop an understanding of what is Umsamo, so that it can apply to just not only just with people who are gifted, but even in the spiritual unity of a family, and also being able to deal with different aspects as within our family units. Hence, being able to unpack and address generational traumas and end them, so that it's not just spiritual growth as an individual, but also spiritual growth within the family unit. So to explain, I'll make a scenario, an example, right? Okay. So essentially, I'll use an example of the nuclear family, right? In a nuclear family, there's the mother and the father and the children, right? Grandparents and etc. So in the family, right, especially in African culture, the father is the head of the family, right? And the mother is essentially, she's the backbone and the neck, right? So the mother upholds the family, and she also supports the head, right? Because without the neck and the back, the body doesn't function. And without the head, essentially, the mind, you can't run other parts of the body without the brain, all right? And then I'd say also the children are the heart of the family, because the heart obviously gives blood and essentially life, brings about the longevity. And so, as I said, right, the father is the head, the mother is the neck and the back, like the support structure, and then the children are the heart, right? So Umsamo, in this instance, this is all one body I'm talking about, the different aspects of the body. Umsamo is essentially the spirit of the family, right? Because without the spirit, when a person dies, their spirit leaves, right? And so you'll find that things that, for example, human science or biology cannot explain, like, for example, having a sixth sense, having an intuition. Yes, there are things that explain it, like in a tangible manner, but there's just some things that you experience and you're like, well, this is a spiritual part, you know. And so Umsamo is the spirit, if I can explain it in its independent capacity. That is why you find that, especially with all of the rituals, all traditional rituals, whether it's regarding the birth of a child, whether it's regarding a wedding, whether it's regarding a funeral, whether it's regarding a person's coming of age, all of what is considered to be essential milestones, even if it's for breaking generational curses or helping someone who's passed on find peace, whether it's, announcing someone accepting their calling, every fundamental, like every aspect of African spirituality, even like good or even bad, everything surrounds Umsamo. And so that's why I say it's the spirit, right? So that's the first part of it. Is it's essentially the spirit of the family. Second, now obviously Umsamo is something that is intangible. You can't see it with your naked eye, right? And so it was developed in such a way that homes, ne, especially like I'm talking about homes in the rural areas, like obviously now with people going back to their roots and learning and understanding, there would be, the different buildings in a home, and different huts, and then one rondavel or hut, whatever you want to call it, would be um you know dedicated to being Umsamo strictly, right? Umsamo in that aspect, right? The physical manifestation of Umsamo in a physical structure, a physical building, in a rondavel. It is a very sacred space. So in an English term, the way that I would explain it is it's an altar. An altar in the sense that you don't worship your ancestors, right? It just, you don't worship them, but you communicate to them and you appease them so that they can help you out with different aspects of your life. And so that particular rondavel, right? That is where you'll make your offerings to appease them, to ask them for help with things, and to also give thanks, and also to announce things. It is a very sacred space. Like for example, when men go into Umsamo, they can't wear hats. Like everyone must be barefoot. You can't wear shoes. Females have to cover their shoulders, as a sign of respect. And women who are married will have to cover their hair. And usually in that instance, it is the head of the household, the father, who will speak Umsamo, right? And if there are no male elders, then it would probably be the eldest female, the elder, regardless of gender, who will speak Umsamo, right? And that is a very important rule, because only a designated, depending obviously on the circumstances, only a designated family member, like the elder, will speak Umsam. So for example, if I come in as a healer and I'm helping a family restore the balance of Umsamo, that is why you'll hear instances where, like, there are cases where Umsam is corrupted and things are going wrong in the family, if there's a family curse and all of that. And if, for example, you'll go to consult and they'll be like, you need to fix Umsam. So if a spirit is corrupt, then everything else will malfunction, you know. And so, for example, so if I, as a healer, go to help to restore the harmony of Umsamo, I can't speak. I will delegate to whoever will speak, but I can't speak Umsamo of another family. It is not my place. That is not part of my duty. It is not my job. So that's why a lot of the times when Umsamo, there's something wrong, it's imbalanced, or it's just completely corrupt, so you find that the aura of the house, the yard, everything is off. usually it's an inside job, especially when they say, it was bad magic that caused this. It's 9 times out of 10 it's a family member, because only they have that intimate access to be able to communicate and appease the ancestors like that, right? And so with Umsamo, right? The simplest way I can explain it, it's like it's like a hotspot, right? It's like a hotspot. You can't see a hotspot, but it connects you to your ancestors. So a hotspot can be connected to using different devices. So different devices, like in terms of summoning and speaking to ancestors, can be candles, can be impepo, can be a goat. Like some ancestors don't like bloodshed or slaughtering of animal, so hence that's why there's like impepo, there's candles, others snuff, and so forth, right? And so with that, if you can understand that Umsam is basically essentially the bridge between the living family members and those who have passed, you've already understood basically 80% of what encompasses like the core foundation of African spirituality, right? And so that is why I'm going back to the issue of, if Umsamo is corrupted, it can be as a result of family curses, can be the result of, as I said, even an inside job of witchcraft, even amongst family members spiritually attacking each other, or if a family member passed away and they weren't reintroduced as an ancestor, or there were fights that broke out and some ancestors just decided to abandon Lomsamo, and spirits wandering. So that is where, in order to address the issue of Umsamo, if you go consult, and they'll be like, well, you need to restore order, you need to balance, you need to bring back that corrupted spirit, you know. Hence, then they'll perform different rituals. Obviously, it's objective. It's at the discretion of different family units and their individual situations. But you'll consult to find the root cause or whatever issue caused that. And different rituals will be done to bring it back to order. But obviously, if there's certain situations whereby it's like it's caused, like it's the appeasing ancestors requires an immediate action, but you don't have Umsamo to be able to summon and speak to them on, usually you'll go to the beach. That's where you'll do, for example, Ilad. Ilad is essentially doing offerings to your ancestors for whatever reasons. For example, if you want to bring them back, obviously that's where you'll fetch your guides, because there's different guides associated with different elements. That's why they say idalwa izisemagumbini amanomhlaba, from all different corners of the earth. So you can have your water ancestors, your water guides, water spirits, those who are located in the forests, ehlathini, those who are located in the caves, those who are located on the mountaintops, right? So depending on, obviously, for example, it's going to be easier for someone who's spiritual, because they're going to be able to dream, or it's going to be shown to them where they can find these guides and bring them back home if they've been lost, and that kind of a thing, so it's on a case by case basis. But essentially, to sum it up, as I said, essentially Umsam is the spirit of a family unit, and it needs, for things to work out with the whole family, it needs to be pure and respected, and and taken care of. Hence, that's why you appease your ancestors by giving offerings. Maybe, for example, if you had an ancestor that appreciated a good whiskey, or leave a bottle of whiskey, and when it's in a state of being attacked, where some people manipulate in such a way that ancestors work for them or benefit them, then it will be corrupted. Hence the whole concept of Uktwebula, where some people use Umsamo to connect to ancestors so that it can benefit them and them only. But that's a whole topic on its own. But essentially, I just wanted to unpack and break down the concept of Umsamo so that it can be in a simple and concise manner. I hope that helps. And please like, subscribe, comment, and yeah, just let me know like if there's anything you want me to delve with. But I just wanted to give a quick, simple video on what is Umsamo. And I hope you all have a lovely day further. And go out there into the world and be well. Togozan, emakosin. Goodbye.